Hello everyone, I'm Lakshan and I have used the Picomatch JavaScript library and completed into the Rust format. So, porting a parser isn't just translating the syntax, it's preserving the behavior. For this project, I ported Picomatch, one of the most widely used globe matching libraries in JavaScript ecosystem, and made it into a completely safe Rust format. So it was achieved by behavioral equivalence, eliminate unsafe code, and also build verification infrastructure to prove that the Rust implementation is exactly as the original JavaScript library. So getting into the demonstration, first let us clean the cargo file and let me rebuild it. The project builds using standard cargo tooling with no customer setup, making it easy to reproduce and completely verify it at a go. So I have preserved the original architecture throughout port. You can see it in the parse, scan, and all other things comparing it to the original Picomatch library. The execution pipeline begins with scanning the globe pattern, then passing it into the internal state, compiling the state into a regular expression, and finally exposing the public matching API. So let's take a look at the Picomatch library. These are the original JavaScript modules that inside the Rust implementation. So the correctness was the highest priority for this repo. Instead of manually validating the outputs, I generated fixtures directly from the original JavaScript implementation. So now let's test the verification of the cargo file. So every state execution is compared independently: the scanner, parser, regress compilation, and the final matching. So now pointing to the all the test parity, we can say it is successfully verified. All the test parities pass successfully. This verifies that the Rust implementation reproduces the behavior of the original library rather than producing similar results. This is exactly what we intended to do with Picomatch JavaScript library. So another important design goal was safety. The entire implementation is written without using a single unsafe block. So rather than relying on the raw pointers, the parser was redesigned using safe Rust ownership while preserving the original execution behavior. We can see the result in the terminal right now. As we can see, no output was delivered through our unsafe command. So this proves our safety point. Passing a test suite is useful, but wanting a stronger evidence, I built a differential fuzzer. It continuously generates random globe patterns, including the malformed patterns, invalid escapes, unmatched brackets, and the nested external globes, and evaluates both the original JavaScript implementation and the Rust support. Every result is compared automatically. You can see in the screen that after thousands and thousands of fuzzing, in total 4,300 runs, the divergence was completely zero. This gives strong evidence that the Rust implementation faithfully reproduces original JavaScript behavior. Getting into the benchmarks. Performance was measured using Criterion. Separate benchmarks were returned for scanning, parsing, and the regress compilation and matching. The benchmark methodology and results include the repository for reproducibility. You can see that in the terminal the results are shown. So all the benchmarks are seen in the terminal right now. Beyond implementing the port itself, I focused making it production ready. The repository includes automated parity verification against the original JavaScript implementation, a differential fuzzer for randomized testing, a criterion benchmarks for reproducible performance measurements, and a documented decision log explained in the key. You can find it in my repository out here. So, and the entire project is implemented using the safe Rust without any unsafe block. So I successfully ported Picomatch from JavaScript to Rust while preserving the behavioral equivalence. The implementation is completely memory safe, contains zero unsafe code, includes automated parity testing, differential fuzzing, and the benchmarking, and a comprehensive documentation for your understanding. I highly recommend you to check out the edition and the testing results. Thank you.